Step 1, wall assessment. Determine the amount of bowing, tipping, or shearing. In certain cases, additional considerations apply. If you have questions or concerns, contact SRS for further evaluation. Additional carbon fiber, wall tiebacks, or additional means of restraint may be required. Step 2, strap layout. Standard spacing is 2 foot from each outside corner and 4 foot on center. Refer to the SRS Engineered Design Sheet spacing chart for your specific wall height, thickness, and backfill height. Maintain the maximum spacing for your wall configuration shown in the SRS Engineered Design Sheet spacing chart. Where obstructions such as windows and utilities exist, spacing may need to be reduced. Step 3, surface preparation. Bond performance is highly dependent on surface preparation. The substrate must be clean, sound, and free of loose material prior to epoxy application. If excess moisture or efflorescence is present, SRS-1000 concrete guard may be required to densify the concrete and reduce porosity in the wall prior to carbon installation. Consult SRS for guidance.
Anytime you're grinding concrete, especially in an enclosed environment like this, it's always imperative that you have the right dust extraction equipment, something that's equipped with a HEPA attachment so that you're able to filter any of that silica dust, and it's going to capture it right out of the dust shroud there and vacuum it up.
Mechanically grind the wall at each strap location to expose sound aggregate and open the concrete pores. Remove all paint, coatings, efflorescence, latents, dirt, grease, and contaminants. Achieve a minimum ICRI CSP2 surface profile, which is a diamond cup grinding wheel.
It's the right amount of turns through this nozzle, so you can see when it starts dispensing gray color concrete. Now we know we're properly mixed in the nozzle. So we're going to dispense the SRS-2100 directly into this crack here. Make sure we fill the whole mortar joint around it. And you can see it actually has a bit of a sandy texture to it, similar to the texture of concrete, but this is an acrylic product.
Some deeper mortar joints, cracks, and voids may require an additional coat of SRS-2100 to ensure an even surface profile. Grind any excess cured paste as needed to achieve a smooth, continuous surface so the carbon fiber strap remains flat and in tension. At each strap location, position the URFP bracket over the prepared area directly over the future strap location and mark the bottom anchor hole locations. Remove the bracket and pre-drill each hole a minimum of 3.5 inches deep using a 1/2-inch masonry bit. Step 4, slab lock preparation. Create a small localized slab opening at each strap location using a chipping hammer or saw. A 9-inch grinder with a tuck point blade may be used to create a minimal slot at the base. The opening shall be wide enough to allow the 6-inch carbon fiber strap to pass beneath the slab, remaining flat against the wall without deformation. Vacuum all drilled holes, the wall surface, and the slab opening thoroughly. All dust from grinding and drilling must be completely removed to ensure proper bond performance.
So we've got each of our pre-cut 10-foot roll lengths of carbon fiber, getting them in place, ready for the strap installation so that we're organized and each strap is exactly where we need it when we start dispensing epoxy and installing them on the wall.
Step 5, carbon fiber strap installation. Each BowGuard strap shall be installed using one 16-ounce cartridge of SRS-1000 structural epoxy per strap.
So we're going to dispense a small amount onto the cardboard here just to make sure that it's mixed thoroughly before we start dispensing it onto the wall. So in this static mixing nozzle, it's getting just the right amount of turns so that it's fully mixed once it's dispensed. So we've got a small amount dispensed and we're going to start working our way from the top of the wall down. We're conditioning all of the concrete so that the epoxy can absorb right into the pores of the block here that we've opened up. We're just working down in a side-to-side motion, top to bottom, keeping even pressure on the gun. Now we're gonna spread that evenly. The important part about this step is just to make sure we've primed all of the concrete. This isn't our high build layer that we're gonna do next, but this is the prime coat. So this is an important step to make sure that we're gonna build up tack on the concrete. Now we're going to start immediately back at the top with our high build coat. And each one of these phases is going to use about 1/3 of this cartridge of epoxy. We're going to keep an eye on the level to make sure that we've got the right amount dispensed. And we're gonna make sure that's smoothed out and even. So we've got a nice thick layer of epoxy that's sitting right over the strap location here. And to start at the top of the strap, begin working it down the wall, making sure that we're centered in between our two pre-drilled 1/2-inch holes.
Embed the strap into the epoxy as you work down the wall, ensuring that the strap is saturated by the high build layer of epoxy beneath.
We're gonna load up this slot that we've made at the base of the wall. Make sure there's plenty of saturn adhesive at the base. Work the strap into the hole.
Go back over the strap using smoothing knives or gloved hands to ensure the strap is fully embedded into the epoxy. Work epoxy in the direction of the fibers to fully saturate the strap and remove any air voids. Fold the excess carbon fiber strap back up and bond it onto itself. Using the remaining 1/3 of the cartridge to apply a full encapsulation coat from top to bottom. Smooth evenly with a putty knife. Do not drag the nozzle across the fibers and always work the smoothing knives in the direction of the fibers.
Now I'm going to use the remainder up, making sure we got all the edges sitting nice and smooth, no air bubbles.
Step 6. Slab lock shear guard connection. Dispense excess epoxy at the base of the wall to fully fill the slab opening and create the slab lock anchor. If the opening has been made larger than the minimal slot, SRS-2100 or concrete repair material may be used to complete larger areas of displaced concrete.
And I'm gonna fill the slot here so that it's flush with the concrete surface. There's a strap completed. We'll just come back and just double check it for any kind of air bubbles or anything like that as it sets up.
Step 7. Simpson strong tie URFP installation. Position the 10-inch URFP bracket directly over the 6-inch carbon fiber strap at the top of the wall, aligning with the pre-drilled anchor holes. The bracket may be installed immediately and may come in contact with the wet epoxy. Fasten the bracket to the foundation wall using the supplied 1/2-inch by 3-inch Simpson Titan HD anchors. Drive snug, do not over torque. Fasten the bracket into the face of the sill plate using the supplied 1/4-inch by 3-inch strong drive SDS heavy-duty connector screws. Step 8. Final inspection. Confirm successful installation of all straps, top brackets, and slab lock connections. Ensure that straps are flat, continuous, fully bonded, and fully encapsulated with epoxy. There's no fiber damage, air voids, or dry spots. Edges are tight to the wall. URFP brackets are securely fastened to both wall and sill plate, and the slab lock connections are fully filled and sealed.